Hello, thank you for joining with me for the meditation of Lesson 105. God's peace and joy are mine. Today we accept them, knowing that peace and joy belong to us. We will try to understand that these gifts increase as we receive them. They are not like to the gifts the world can give, in which the giver loses as he gives the gift. The taker is the richer by his loss. Such are not gifts, but bargains made with guilt. The truly given gift entails no loss. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. This implies a limit and insufficiency. God's peace and joy are mine. As heaven's peace and joy intensify when you accept them as God's gift to you, so does the joy of your Creator grow when you accept His joy and peace as yours. True giving is creation. It extends the limitless to the unlimited, eternity to timelessness, and love unto itself. It adds to all, not in simple terms of adding more, for that implies that it was less before. It adds by letting what cannot contain itself fulfill its aim of giving everything it has away, securing it forever for itself. Today, accept God's peace and joy as yours. So think of those brothers in your life who have been denied by you the peace and joy that are their right under the equal laws of God. If you denied them to your brother, you denied them to yourself. You must return to claim them as your own. Think of your enemies a little while and tell each one as he occurs to you, "My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine." Thus you prepare yourself to recognize God's gift to you and let your mind be free of all that would prevent success today. Now are you ready to accept the gift of peace and joy that God has given you? Now are you ready to experience the joy and peace you have denied yourself? Now you can say, "God's peace and joy are mine," for you have given what you would receive. God's peace and joy are mine. My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. God's peace and joy are mine. In the context of undoing, Jesus teaches us here about the ego's strange notion of given. Even though he does not use the word specialness, that is his point of reference, the giving to get bargain. I give something to you, so I get something back in return. If I give you more than I really want to give, then I lose. The oft-cited fourth and fifth laws of chaos in chapter 23 are among the clearest expressions of this ego dynamic of scarcity and hate. The way we accept God's peace and joy is by no longer accepting the ego's substitutes. Letting go of the blocks of specialness is how we remember that God's peace and joy are ours. Through the classroom of special relationships, I eventually learned that the way I see you is the way I see me. The guilt I perceive in you is in me, for we are the same. Likewise, if I see peace and joy in you, realizing your sins are but mistakes, I realize mine are too, and thus peace and joy abide in me as well. Giving and receiving are the same because I give only to myself. There is no one else. I receive only from myself. There is no one else. You and I are not two, but one. There is no one else. Thus do I claim God's peace and joy for the whole sonship, including me. If I am to be happy, I cannot exempt you from God's peace and joy. The Song of Prayer ends this teaching. It is not only that we share the same gifts of God, we share the same self. Now can you say to everyone who comes to join in prayer with you, I cannot go without you, for you are a part of me. And so he is in truth. Now can you pray only for what you truly share with him, for you have understood he never left you, and you who seemed alone are one with him. Thus is the sonship blessed as one, as we learn to bless each other with the peace and joy of God. My dear brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. I love you. Thank you so much for joining with me today in Lesson 105, Meditation. And just a reminder, this is not the practice of the lesson. So please, if you're practicing the lesson, do that separately. This is simply a meditation based on the lesson. I love you. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.